Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome, welcome. My name is Lauren. I'm joined by the Socrates of Heroes of the Storm, Cavalier guest. Plenty of chair league for the front of your face tonight. How you doing, Kev?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right, man. 85 DeLoreans came away with a victory tonight. That was pretty neat. Not sad about that by any stretch. First game tonight. Alright, cool. They already got the draft links, server links already there. We're gonna have unlimited breadsticks going up against Creep Tumor. I will be casting, or we, Cavalier guest would like to stick around. I hope he does. Bedroom Donkey right after this, and then we have a Pro Division set with a team by the name of Tire Fire Pyre, which I enjoy casting.
I like that name.
They have a unique name, like that's how I always remember them. Unlimited Breadsticks, best name ever. Actually just got the invitation to cast this game. I wasn't originally slated to cast it. I looked at the time, I was like, we should be done our chair league game by then. That sounds pretty good. And here we are. Ninja Turtles. I just got this shirt in the mail today. I'm pretty jazzed about it. I always call Raphael. It's important. The production value this. All right. Silence that. I wish the other team was named Free Refills. All right.
Unfortunately, this is chair league and not a restaurant.
That's fair. That's fair. Draft is underway. Okay. Unlimited Breadsticks are the home team. Creep Tumor is taking us to Cursed Hollow. Unlimited Breadsticks can have first band, first pick privileges. On a map like Cursed Hollow, you got to consider global presence such as Falstad, Brightwing. I'm assuming Nova is
Zarya?
Yeah, I was checking. Keystone just said, "All right, can we use Nova?" I was like, "Wait, what?" Normally, it's been murky the past few chair league games I've casted, but nope. They don't feel like dealing with Zarya. That's a hero who can bring a lot of value to a game. Cav and I know a little bit about that.
No, but no longer universally banned in chair league because of her bug. She was until yesterday.
You know, it might be Michelangelo. I'm partially colorblind, so I thought it was orange when I ordered it. Then I got it, and I was like, this...
Creep Team were responding with a Li Ming ban, meaning that they left Malfurion open. Generally speaking, if one team bans... There's two OP heroes, and one team bans one of them, you ban the other one. If you give it up for free, you're in an awkward position. So I hope Creep Team has a plan for how to deal with the Malfurion comp and all the synergies that you can have. Because there's so many heroes that are good with Malfurion. You can't just, like, ban or take all of them. You need to think about how you're going to beat that style of composition. You do see the Malfurion locked in instantaneously, of course.
Yeah, I mean, even after the nerf that came out yesterday, he's still a beast. Still very highly sought after and prioritized. Creep Tumor presumably are aware of the situation and how the draft generally progresses. They have two heroes to select themselves. I do think a hero like Falstad would be pretty neat at this juncture if they want to try to lock in a support before they themselves are locked out of one in a second ban phase. That'd probably be pretty neat for them. But we'll see. What do you think they should go for, Cav?
You know, it depends on what they play, right? It depends on what they prefer to play. I mean, they could pick up something like Tyrael Kerrigan. Tyrael's really good on this map because of Holy Ground, and the late game bosses end up often being the win condition. And then Kerrigan has always been really good on Cursed Hollow because of the really tight choke points. She's sort of come back in the meta. Also, Kerrigan can dive on Malfurion, and there's very few things that Malfurion can do to save himself from that. They end up picking up the Brightwing. I like the idea of picking up a support here because they don't want to get support locked with the bans that are coming up. But I think that Brightwing is not just a general good support. Brightwing, in my mind, shines as an anti-dive support. Malfurion doesn't usually support dive heroes. So what are the odds that Unlimited Breadsticks picks a dive hero that Brightwing can now counter? I think that they probably should have said that for a little bit later. They were going to do it. But now that they've done it, I feel like they need to draft Muradin just so they have a strong, independent warrior who doesn't need a support to babysit him.
Yeah, in general, I'm wary of a solo support Brightwing unless there's either a double warrior some form of sustain across the board to counteract the lack of burst healing that she brings to the table. Bubble Titan, how's it going? Dangstrom in the chat makes a really good point as well. If you're going to ban out Li Ming and you're going to leave Malfurion open, you're kind of taking away one of the options to counter that support choice.
Yeah, that Li Ming
does
ban
struggle against bursts, so it's kind of interesting.
Like, that should have been a mouth ban, but banning the thing that counters the thing you know they're going to take if you don't ban it, I don't understand. It looks like Creep Tumor's trying for an all-global comp, which is easier now than it's ever been with stage dive being so strong. I'm kind of hoping we see all globals. If we saw 5 globals, I'll forgive them the Brightwing early pick.
Well, the Falstad pick does offer some form of sustain of sorts. Falstad is able to barrel roll away, so he has the mobility if things get sticky for him. The back end, the Creep Tumor's composition features a little more sturdiness. They could definitely look to salvage that aspect of their composition, but Murden's going to be selected, the first warrior taken in the draft, and in my opinion, the best warrior in the game right now.
Oh yeah, by a huge margin. Unless you're doing something specific, like you want Sank Sport or Dive here, you want Stage Dive for the global presence because it's that style of map, or you want a hook for Stitches. Like, unless you really need a specific thing, Muradin is just the best warrior overall by a huge margin. And the fact that he can be so self-sufficient in terms of healing post 13, healing static, means that your support is able to focus entirely on your bruiser and your backline, keep them alive. It's just such a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, and every tier is important for that guy. At 13, you generally see healing static. That gives him a lot of the independence you were talking about. At 16, I really like going for heavy impact these days. I was able to cast Heroes Hype last night, and a player by the name of Liam Stirs is playing Muradin a lot. He was securing so many team fights in games with heavy impact and rewind. It was insane. The Thrall pickup is going to help them out as well. A nice little frontline setup for Unlimited Breadsticks so far.
Yeah, so far, Thrall picked up. It's going to be... There's not really a solo lane per se on Cursed Hollow, but there's... the 2 side lanes usually operate pretty independently.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're going for a 1-1-3 of some kind. So, and even if you do go for a 1-1-3, having someone who can operate independently while you have the 3 sack in the particular lane ends up being really, really strong. Jaina banned out. There's no real setup for Ring, and Jaina probably the worst mage right now of the 4. She has the best wave clear, but other than that, pretty low tier overall. So I'm not sure why they banned her out without a Ring setup. Generally, if we see her in pro play, it's only because of Ring. You take something like Void Prison or Maw or Mosh, and you guarantee that Ring lands and you get that Wombo combo. EDC banned out, that's a very reasonable ban, denying the full global composition from being a reality unless they go with the Haka.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where they go. Elfenarius said Trash Lord Nikita carry. Yeah, okay. I felt like that Chin played pretty well, the DeLorean's game, but that's just me. It feels like what Creep Tumor's doing is they have an idea for the comp that they want to play. They picked Cursed Hollow. I think it's a very calculated decision to go for Brightwing and Falstad. My concern for them is that they're so focused on how they want to play as far as their picks in bans that they're not really considering what the composition they're going to be playing against. And it's like, all right, we don't want to deal with Li Ming, and they don't really understand that they're leaving themselves open to a lot of counterplay.
They are, and we see more of it now with the Jaina banned out and the Johanna picked up. I feel like they're like, okay, we win as long as there's no burst. But there's other heroes that have burst. There's other options that have burst. Twilight Dream is actually a surprising amount of damage. It's a huge amount of burst. Johanna does get picked up, and Tychus to counter the Muradin. That's finally a pick that I agree with. We've seen it in Korea time and time and time again. Tychus came back in the meta specifically as a counter to Muradin. But funnily enough, with the change to Third Wind being moved to level 1, it's possible for Muradin to get chunked out of a fight by a Tychus, leave, and come back before his traits off cooldown. And it's not as effective as it was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, on paper, Tychus can be something of a menace to Muradin. If anything, he has a really rapid-fire auto attack. You tend to see quarterback at level 7 for the grenade for Tychus. So if anything, he can stagger out the trait prop for Muradin and buy a little more time for his team to make something happen in other parts of the map. The Raynor pick, I'm a bit surprised at that going into Johanna, who has a blind, but I don't know. It's a surprise to me.
That's double Giant Killer versus Johanna, who is relatively immobile, even though she does have, iron skin. They should be able to melt her,
Mm.
and if they can melt Johanna and force her out of the fight or kill her, there's no more frontline, right? They can pick up another tank. I think Creep Tumor actually has to pick up another tank to support the Brightwing unless they want to go double support. But if they go double support, they're putting a lot of faith in Falstad and Tychus to do a significant amount of damage. And Abathur picked up. Wow, Brightwing Falstad already on the map for the other team, and Abathur's last picked. I don't agree with that decision at all. This is Abathur's best map, but he's incredibly fragile to global heroes.
It's a bold choice because, like you said, Falstad can fly in on Abathur's face at any given point. So hanging out in those bushes is going to be critically important. One of the big things that they would have in their employ, though, double Raynor and Thrall past level 13. You're making the point about Johanna being a target with double Giant Killer. Adding another Raynor on top of that, that could hurt.
There's no, I don't know. Raynor's not a great clone. Best clone is probably going to be Muradin, actually, just for the stuns and the CC, which we're probably not going to see because no one ever thinks of that clone in the tanks, but it's actually a good decision in a lot of cases. Hammer picked up last pick for Creep Tumor, though, however. That is triple ranged. Tychus essentially being the bruiser in this composition. He's going to be up front, impersonal in people's faces, trying to sustain that damage. Against the root and the stun from Muradin and the root from Thrall, he's consistently going to be able to proc Relentless Soldier, the resistant talent he now has at 7, which is going to help him sort of fill that role, but he's going to struggle with it until he gets that stuff at 13. I don't know. I feel like if Unlimited Breadsticks gets to 10 and just goes deep on any of the 3 fragile targets, they're going to just be able to kill one, and that'll be the end of all the team fights. But we'll have to see. I mean, Group Tumor could just play better.
Yeah, I mean, there is something to be said for skill. I agree with you. I am really concerned for Creep Tumor. A triple backline going up against the kind of damage Unlimited Breadstick stands to bring to the table. Abathur could prove to be a liability for the reasons that you were stating, but triple backline with solo support Brightwing could be really tough to sustain in a long progression, and sustain is something Malfurion excels at. So if Creep Tumor aren't able to force a defensive posture out of Unlimited Breadstick's leg pretty much immediately, they could have a tough time.
I will say that Creep Tumor has a really strong tri lane. Brightwing Hammer, Falstad in a lane, and then Johanna Tychus in the other lanes. Johanna has acceptable wave clear, Tychus has acceptable wave clear. They can hold a lane pretty consistently, and that's going to force 3 people to always be in a lane against Hammer. And if they get lucky in the tribute spawning, they should be able to get an early wall or sometimes even a fort if they don't take it very, very seriously.
We'll see. I mean, the early game, I personally feel like is going to be Creep Tumor's time to shine. Without the clone to worry about, the presence for the tribute fight stands to be a little on the lower end for Unlimited Breadsticks. For obvious reasons, they're going to be short of body. Sergeant Hammer is a hero that can do siege damage right out of the gate starting at level 1, so if they're able to rule a lane and get value out of the mobility, they could look to snowball the early game to where the merits of Unlimited Breadsticks composition have already fallen behind by the time you get the heroics and you're level 13. But we'll see.
We will indeed.
Loading into the game now. We're going to have a game right after this and then a Pro Division set to round out the evening at best of 3. Excited to see that. First game is underway, though. Hope everyone is excited as I am. First game of the night over on the left side, we've got Unlimited Breadsticks. Malfurion is being played by Keithstone. Lunchbox is on Abathur. Kids playing Thrall. Mario 22 is on Muradin, aptly named. And Phil Badojbit. Flib? I don't know. He's playing Raynor. I butcher names. It's not.
Flibbidigibbit.
Flibbidigibbit. Oh, that works.
It rolls off the tongue. For Creep Tumor, we have Smithel on Johanna, Anders Vigen on Tychus, Shade on Falstad, Lore on Brightwing, and Cloud on Sergeant Hammer.
That Boo's calling us cheaters, man. It's a good game, Boo. It's a good game. What are you talking about?
Except for the Thrall taking him then. Except for that part.
That was a question mark for sure. All members, all hands on deck in the mid lane. Action right out of the gate. Mario getting chunked down. The Iron Skin gets procced early. The Q from Raynor's going to knock Anders back for the moment. But no one's overextending and putting themselves at too much risk. Kid gets the poke on Hammer. But no one's going to drop here, I don't think.
No, indeed. We are seeing Give Me More picked up at level 1 for Raynor, so this is going to be tank style of Raynor. Surprised, again, to see Shando's Clarity. Shando's Clarity has been picked up in so many games recently, and I just don't understand why people pick it up over Moonburn. Especially when you have an Abathur, you're operating independently a lot of the time as a support. I need that additional wave clear to stay ahead in the macro of the map. And with the recent minion changes, staying ahead in the macro is even more important than it ever has been at any point in the entire game.
I think that's a really good point. I would agree with that, especially with this composition. Raynor and Thrall aren't exactly heroes. I'm like, well, I want to make sure their cooldowns are double. Like, if I had a mage, like a Li Ming or something like that, then yeah, like, I'd want to see the orbs get thrown out there pretty often. But I think they could have done a lot better with the wave there. I'd agree with that.
We also see Resistant picked up at level 1 for Hammer. So this is going to be the I'm going to stay in siege mode, and if you try and collapse on me, I'm just going to take less damage style of build. And once they hit level 10, with Brightwing having Emerald Wind, they should be able to just push everyone off. We have seen pushback style comps like this, but normally we see them with ETC, Morales, Raynor, actually. Multiple heroes with pushbacks to protect the Hammer in that style of composition. We're not seeing that this time, and we can see Cloud early on here staying sieged, almost got him killed.
Well, I mean, it could definitely prove to be a liability. I think it's also being conscious of the idea that your triple range backline with a solo Brightwing. Sustain might be the order of the day. Both of these teams are nearing level 4. 2-minute mark has been hit, so neither team, for the moment, have gone over to one of the siege camps to try to establish that macro pressure. First tribute's going to be in the bottom right corner. Both teams are level 4. It's about to get interesting.
And we see Tumor did something interesting here. They left Hammer mid so that Hammer would be able to rotate. Normally what we see is Hammer go to a side lane, and if you win the 50-50 and it happens to be on your side, then that's great, but if you don't win the 50-50, you just pressure. And instead, it's not what's happening. Smithel, however, takes so much damage here. Iron Skin and the proc from Lore is just barely enough, and Murden jumps in, overcommitting, thinking he'll get the kill, and as a result, Tychus is able to just take him down.
Yeah, there was a heavy commitment to take out Johanna there, and they almost got away with it. They were an auto attack or two away from turning this into a very different conversation. Gotta be careful when you're rotating down towards these tributes, says Unlimited Breadsticks. They end up losing a hero. First takedown in the game. And Tumor might get this. Oh no, False Stat's gonna drop. We're not done yet, Kev.
No, we're not. Shade was way overextended there. I don't know why he stayed for as long as he did. He was already taking so much damage, and he didn't have his escape available, so why stick around? But Anders Virgin, again, going to do so much damage to everyone. Brightwing's going to go down. Johanna can't be everywhere to heal for everyone.
We're starting to see some of the shortcomings of a triple range backline. You're going to see Hammer go down, 3 takedowns to 1, and Flip-it-a-gibbet is going to come away with the first tribute of the game.
And Smithel would have died there as well if Kid had not missed his root. That could have been 4 kills for 1, even though they lost the initial engagement. And that's where you're at when you trade draftable range like this. It's so fragile that you can get a pick and still lose.
Lunchbox in the top lane, level 7 almost around the corner, and here for Unlimited Breadsticks. Manages to get back, Shade did spot him. Abathur's positioning is going to be key. So far, it keeps himself alive.
Indeed, and that is 7 off the back of that picked up for Unlimited Breadsticks. They do, now follow through on Thrall, which makes him even more threatening. Revolution Overdrive on Raynor, giving him more mobility and Cleanse from Alpha. We're actually seeing also the full Mind build here out of Abathur, including in Venom Nest. Normally we don't see that versus sustained healers, so I'm a little bit surprised to see it picked up versus Brightwing. But let's see if he makes it work for him.
I think it's more them just trying to be annoying, but when there's so much mobility on the side of Tumor, perhaps not as much value as they'd hope after that. Next tribute fight is here, though. Mario's eating a bunch of damage. Shade has to barrel roll away to save his face. Thrall's going to be the first drop to drop, though. Counter kill, 1 for 1. Tychus goes down as well. Mario ends up proccing the boss. That could have implications. Almost gets slapped to death by the camp, but he goes down anyway.
And Cloud is sieged up on the tribute, is going to channel it. And it's good that they won that tribute. They got a 2 for 1 on the kill, but it was on their side of the map. Like, that was the one they absolutely needed to win, and they're still behind an Abathur comp, which is not a place you want to be. Shade, not even respecting his job of hunting Abathur, Lunchbox just literally walks away. Shade didn't even fly into the bush. Lunchbox is like, I'm overextended, but you didn't even check, so I get to live for free.
just casually strolls away in the pajama third. The only skin you can really use is Abathur, let's be honest. Limited gibbets down here. A lot of value had so far as siege pressure goes. One tower down, the other one's out of ammo. Flib on Rain is going to keep pressing the issue and enjoy a slight experience lead for the moment.
Yeah, we do see hypercooling engines was picked up for Hammer. It helps on these bigger maps in particular, but without first aid, there's no healing. Like, Brightwing is not really a healer. She mitigates damage. She doesn't really save you if you take a bunch of burst all at one time. So they don't have that, safety net anymore. And the rest of the talents are pretty standard, but I'm surprised we didn't see first aid considering Brightwing is the sole support.
Yeah, I mean, they invested in sustain in level 1. I would imagine we would have saw first aid as well. They have different things in mind. They want to be able to get around the map. The third tribute of the game is going to be in the top left corner, but there will be a window, Cav, where heroics will be here for unlimited breadsticks, and Creep Tumor might find themselves at a disadvantage.
Yeah, they need to make sure they get that level 10. They don't, they have Abathur. He needs to be very focused on soaking right now. And Tychus didn't take Relentless Soldier either, so this is triple range that does not take any defensive talents, any of them. They're all just super fragile. No defensive talents. Brightwing, please save me from everyone collapsing on me.
Brightwing just manages to avoid the Storm Bolt. If that locked in, could have had a rough time. Both of these teams do have their heroics now, so we're looking at Twilight Dream, Ultimate Evolution as suspected, Sundering, Avatar, Hyperion, which gets procced right now. They're looking to fly pressure in the top lane. Lures by himself for the moment. Flesh Shield, Draken Laser Drill, Mighty Gust, Napalm Strike, and Emerald Wind for the disengage. Interesting.
I'm surprised the Unlimited Breadsticks trading here with the Hyperion. I mean, their siege damage is okay, but it's nowhere near as good as a Siege Hammer. I mean, they can trade forts. They basically traded Hyperion to barely lose the race in terms of racing the fort. Although theirs is a little more valuable because this isn't a boss lane, but it's not their boss lane.
Yeah, I guess
and now it won't be available for the tribute fight, which it looks like they're not even going to rotate to in time anyway.
And I think they've identified this. Maybe they are going to try to go in there in a haphazard manner. I feel like they'd be filtering into a very narrow corridor, which would play right into the hands of Creep Tumor. Tribute is picked up. Next one is going to be the first curse of the game. Both of these teams are level 11. It's been pretty even so far, Kev.
I mean, Creep Tumor did a good job of catching up. They were a little bit behind, but I feel like in the late game here, Unlimited Breadsticks has just so far had better rotations, better decision making, except for that late game. Oh, that's a huge Thunder.
A serious engage. 4-man Sundering gets the party started. Cloud less than 100 health. Actually gets knocked back by the blast from Sergeant Hammer. He's going to be able to escape. No one goes down yet. The clone drops. Flip it a gibbet out front. Has to proc his give me more, so he's going to be okay. I'm actually surprised no one went down there. That's crazy.
Where Twilight Dream there was actually interrupted in its cast time by Sunder. That's why no one died. Lunchbox trying to get the tribute here, but Shade, a barrel over the wall, and is going to force him back. Does not get it, but that might have been enough of a delay. If we can get the grenade. No, Mario does jump in, though, and we do see the grenade as well from Flippity Gibbet. Or, excuse me, from Anders. And Flippity Gibbet just trying to do the damage here, staying in the back. He hasn't triggered Adrenaline Rush yet, and he does have so much sustain from Give Me More. He's about to come off cooldown. Mario's taking so much damage. He's forced to leave. Smithel as well is very, very low. Everyone is so low on both teams. But the laser's down. It's doing a good job zoning. Smithel throws out Blessed Shield. No real effect from that. Emerald Wind comes down as well. Again, no real effect from that. One of those heroics that really is good at anti-dive, but they're not diving in. They're content to win this poke war. They feel like they can out-sustain. And that is a stun. Tychus ends up going down to the flank from the clone. And that's going to be a bad situation for Tumor.
Yeah, I saw Lunchbox creep around there. I was like, that's about to define his team fight for sure. They managed to get to the back line, get a couple of heroes, make that 3-0. A very scrappy fight, because Mario 22 was on an island by himself on that right side of the map, eating a bunch of damage. I thought he was going to drop for sure. But at the end of the day, Unlimited Breadsticks are able to hold out. They get the first curse of the game. Curious to see how they prioritize their resources here.
I feel like, again, Creep Tumor's playing a match that's not happening. They're like, oh man, we gotta throw out Emerald Wind to prevent them from diving onto the hammer. They weren't diving onto the hammer. Oh man, we gotta throw out Blessed Shield to peel for the hammer. They weren't diving on the hammer. As two heroics burn for basically no result because they weren't doing anything near where that would have helped. And then they could have they had Gust available. They could have just gusted everyone away and gone straight for the tribute and just backed out and not taken the fight. But instead they were like, nah, don't gust. We'll just wait and see if we can win the fight. I don't understand the decision making. Cloud gets caught here by the root, barely lives, but ends up getting the kill on the Thrall. And they overstay it again in the Tychus. Murden ends up going down as well. Shade, over chasing a little bit, is going to finally leave now that the clone comes down.
Calculated. Completely calculated. I mean, Cloud had like less than 50 health. He was able to get away. I thought once that root went down, he was going to drop. Flippity Gibbet continuing to press the issue on. Smithville finds out the Shade's there, gets poked back. The Emerald Wind was able to save the bacon of Sergeant Hammer that time. A standard amount of value, I would say, if below average. Since the top fort was already down, they do manage to claim the mid and bottom forts. And a little bit of chip damage on the top keep. One could do worse.
They are going to go for boss. Both teams actually going for their boss under these circumstances. This is going to be so much more valuable for unlimited breadsticks. There's no fort in the way, which means they're going to get some damage on the keep wall at a minimum. If they get a pick in the process of pushing with it, they will get a... They could easily get a keep, but Tumor is perfectly happy to go for the trade.
I think this is a sound decision from them. If they extended across the map or did anything crazy and lost it, that would at least be the top keep. So I think they feel more inspired to play a bit more conservatively. Smithville is leading the charge down toward division. Could get some free poke damage put on him. Cloud getting value out of the talent to move around the map faster. Brightwing's going to teleport in, give the shield to Johanna. Another big engagement. Lore gets caught out. Emerald Wind's not enough. Brightwing's going to drop.
And you got to be really careful about rotating dangerously like that. I mean, Smithville, even for Smithville, it was questionable. He's a tank, but he's a Johanna. He has very limited mobility. But if you're a less mobile hero like a Brightwing, rotating dangerously like that is not a good idea.
And with the squishy composition, nice Sundering goes in, locks in Cloud, who's able to get away with 14 up. No, he's not. He's going to drop. But the counter kill on Murden evens things out to an extent. Brightwing will be back to business in a few seconds. This boss continues to rock and roll. The well's going to drop. Keystone getting poked down by Shade. Iron Skin gets used by Johanna to secure their disengage for the moment. Anders playing the dangerous game. Brightwing is back, but I do think this bottom keep's going to drop.
Yeah, there's no way they can save it at this point. The boss could finish off on its own. They could even get the tower, making sure those catapults are actually directly threatening core, which is really where you want to be on this map. And this... Ooh.
Before I go, before this clone expires, I will make sure I get this Q on Shade's face to secure the 10th takedown for unlimited breadsticks. Next tribute be in the top right corner. The boss did go to the top fort, but all considered, that's a trade I would take every day of the week if I'm unlimited breadsticks.
I agree with you, but we do see graduating range picked up for Hammer. We actually see Holy Renewal picked up over the new reworked Imposing Presence. I'm very surprised by the talents in a lot of these cases. They're ignoring like a lot of this energy, but again, it seems like they're ignoring the team they're up against. They're like, oh, it's a team of all auto attackers, better not take Imposing Presence.
I feel like there was infinitely more value to be had out of that. I mean, if you're trying to heal yourself and sustain, you're going to get a higher net value, I feel, out of slowing down auto attackers like Thrall and Raynor, actively or passively off of that talent. I'm also surprised to see Burning Rage. When you have a triple range backline, I don't think you need more damage out of your solo tank.
No, I agree with you. And we're seeing Shield Dust plus Bouncy Dust to pick up, to mitigate the ability damage that isn't there. It really feels like they banned a bunch of mages. They seem so afraid of mages that they banned mages and then took talents to counter mages. There's no mages on the enemy team.
Yeah, I mean, they were successful in draft of avoiding a potential weakness to how they play the game, and they're just still worrying about that value could have been had out of other talents, I feel. Next engagement in the bottom right corner. This could be a cursed tribute if Tumor is able to come away with it. Kid's trying to land the assault on Cloud, gets knocked back, gets taken down for his trouble. Falstad's going to drop as well, turn this into a 1v1 so far, a 1-for-1. Mario 22 keeping himself alive with healing static. Raynor's going to drop, though. Oh, no.
It's hilarious to see a Murden versus Hammer matchup because you can't kill the Hammer. He's actually healing off of you, just standing there being sieged.
That was a big moment.
But Thrall going in first did pretty much cost them that fight. They managed to trade for the false stab, but it wasn't enough. And that'll be cursed, but Abathur in the top lane is going to start to do significant damage to this keep and could actually get it despite the curse.
Yeah, I mean, every time these fights become a prolonged progression, values to be had out of Abathur. You look up in the top right corner of your map, you're like, all right, guys, we got the curse. It feels good. Oh, wait, we might lose our keep? Like how does this work? But they are going to prioritize some resources towards the mid lane. Brightwing adds a shield to Johanna. There's no fight on the horizon, and he was really close, so he might have been better off saving that one.
Yeah, they're going for middle keep here. They want to get a keep down to even out the lane pressure, but this middle keep's not in a boss lane. And when you get a keep that's not in a boss lane, you've opened up a win condition if you win a decisive team fight, but you can't just get a boss and potentially push to end. It's a very different dynamic, but here we have a 5-man collapse on the 3, but Emerald Wind is going to be enough for the disengage, maybe. Anders Vision still could go down. He does have dash available, but the chase is very, very real.
Root from Thrall doesn't land on anyone. Mario 22 still on a job. Shade with the flank, gets some damage on Keepstone, makes himself a target, manages to avoid the root and the Sundering, by the way, and that's a pretty big cooldown to consider. But actually, off-screen, Johanna's gonna lose it. Huh.
If Shade got there in time to gust for the save, they could have actually saved everyone if everyone had just kept running and Shade had gotten a good gust off. But again, they seem very reluctant to use it to just disengage, and Cloud's gonna get collapsed on. Again, Gust could have probably saved him right there if it had been used earlier.
This could have huge implications. Shade's doing what he can to poke Kid back, inspires a retreat of sorts. Keepstone's going to rotate towards top. And he's like, why are we pushing for this keep wall when we can at least come away with this top keep for free, more or less? They're going to rotate up there, but the poke damage from Shade's been real so far.
But this is multiple Locusts pushing in by Avatar, although they are going to expire right now. He pushed them, he let them go a little bit too far up in the lane. And again, with the Emerald Wind, forcing the disengage, but that keeps going down. They can't hold it against a concerted push like this, considering the shape they're in. And that's another keep. It's 2 keeps, and level 20 picked up.
Yeah, I mean, Creep Tumor immediately find themselves on a timer now. Those are catapults pushing in 2 lanes that both potentially feature a boss. They're down their Storm talents, level 20 to 19. So I'm actually kind of surprised to see such a retreat from Unlimited Breadsticks. I would feel like they'd want to play it a little more aggressively.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no reason to play it aggressively at this point because they know they're going to win at this point. They haven't really lost a single team fight at this point, not decisively. Like that. That's a good example of them not losing. That'll be an easy 2 kills minimum. They can end, they can get boss if they want to, and then end. Like, this game is over.
I don't see how Creep Tumor rallies back from this. Death timers are too long. Top keep is already down. Tychus, he can do as much damage as he wants, but I don't think he's going to churn out enough to slow this advance. I agree. I think we're looking at the end of the game.
And this is why you don't go triple ranged. It's just incredibly fragile. There's really not much you can do to win with triple range unless the enemy team is worse than you are, in which case, if the enemy team is that much worse than you are, it usually doesn't matter what you draft. Lunchbox getting his slaps in, contributing, actually getting a heal too, tanking the core, putting mines down to tank the core shots. Some good Abathur slap play in the end there. Obviously, there's a lot of experience slapping core. And credit to Unlimited Breadsticks. That Abathur pick was not punished by the double global at all, but mostly that's because Shade never flew into the right bush.
Yeah, I mean, it was a high wire act for certain, but I think both comps kind of had some risks. Triple backline with Solar Warrior Brightwing, if you're not able to deal enough damage to effectively win the team fight before it starts, you're leaving some squishy heroes out there exposed, and you could have a tough time. Unlimited Breadsticks are going to come away with the victory. That one's in the record books. Well played by both teams, though. Very fun. Thanks for the offer and invite to cast. I had a lot of fun. See you guys again. But we're going to roll